This is Pinocchio. He's an Italian puppet crafted by an Italian artist in a story set in Italy and written by an Italian writer. So then why is the Pinocchio quick service restaurant at the Magic Kingdom German? This has bugged me for years and I never thought to look into it, but it turns out there are a couple of reasons. The original story of Pinocchio was written by Carlo Collodi, an Italian author from Florence in 1883. In the story, Pinocchio's creator/father, Geppetto, hails from a Tuscan village. So the original story is inarguably Italian. However, as they do with pretty much all of their fairy tale adaptations, Disney took some creative liberties when making the 1940 animated film. When it came to the concept art for Disney's second feature-length animation, the company turned to artist Gustaf Tenggren. He's a Swedish artist who moved over to America in the 1920s and worked at Disney on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. According to him, he used the Bavarian village of Rothenburg ob der Tauber as inspiration for Geppetto's village in the film. Keep in mind that the movie they had just done a few years earlier was Snow White, a German fairy tale set in Germany. Not to mention many of the fairy tales popularized in that previous century, including others that Disney would go on to adapt, were done by the Brothers Grimm, who were also German. That's not to say that Pinocchio was any less of an Italian story, but it played a part in why Germanic architecture and aesthetics were popular with fairy tales at the time. So a village like Rothenburg, which had a lot of medieval buildings, made for the perfect inspiration for an old-timey fairy tale. And so as a result, Disney's version of Pinocchio never explicitly sets itself in Italy. It's a film from an era that didn't really go to great lengths to highlight the various different nationalities of these stories. It was all just sort of generic European medieval fantasy. On top of that, the theme helped unify Magic Kingdom's Fantasyland a little bit. Not too far from the Pinocchio Village Haus, the land opened in 1971 with Snow White's Scary Adventures, again a story set in Germany. And then there's the castle itself. The icon of not only Fantasyland, but the entire Magic Kingdom, Cinderella Castle, draws inspiration from Neuschwanstein Castle, which, like Rothenburg, is in Bavaria. So theming the buildings around the land closer to that medieval German style helped keep it in sync with the castle that anchored it all. It's a style that Disney has continued to lean into even today. Now, for what it's worth, the food situation was a different story. In 1971, you weren't getting German-themed food or Italian-themed food at the Village Haus. You were getting hamburgers for 65 cents or hot dogs for 50 cents. Now today, breaking from the German theming of the building, the restaurant offers Italian food, which is a term I'm using very loosely because what I really mean is theme park pizza. If it weren't for the addition of breadsticks and garlic knots, I'm not even sure you could argue that they were trying for a theme. So in any case, that's why the quick service restaurant, named after an Italian puppet and Italian story, is German.